Well, last month I watched The Office for the 100th time. Actually, I keep it playing in the background while I'm cooking. I start at a random episode and then continue from there. Other than that, I watched Occident. It's a 2002 Romanian movie directed by Kushan Munju. I had watched some of his recent movies like Graduation and 4 months, 3 weeks and 2 days, and it blew my mind. I will be talking about his movies in an upcoming video. I watched Occident as it was one of his earlier movies. I loved the first half of the movie. It had a weird sense of humor, but I couldn't sit through the second half because the story was all over the place. Then I started watching an American sitcom, Ted Lasso. I love watching sports-related movies and documentaries. And this had an interesting premise. An American football coach comes to England to coach the soccer team without any soccer knowledge. I just watched the first 2 episodes. It's lighthearted and fun. Then I watched Two Popes. After the Vatican scandal of 2012, Pope Benedict XVI tries to convince Cardinal Jorge to defer his decision of retirement and confides with him that he is planning to abdicate the papacy. It was an interesting film. I learned a lot about the Vatican and how they choose the Pope, but I do not know why the camera shake was there in most places. It was distracting. Then I watched Jallikattu, as it is the India's pick for the Oscars. It was visually stunning. The entire film is about catching a bull which had escaped from the slaughterhouse. It ends in a completely unexpected way. I don't want to give any spoilers, so please watch it. It's quite brilliant. I also watched a 2009 film, The Assistant. It's about a day in the life of a junior assistant who works in a film production company in New York, and she finds out that her boss is using his power to gain sexual favors. We never actually see the boss, but we experience everything that happens around. We see how everyone in the office turns a blind eye to this. The film follows the assistant around from the moment she comes to the office early in the morning till she leaves late at night. We see her switching on the lights, taking the water bottles out, cleaning the plates and cups and so on. I loved the character even before she spoke anything. I felt so sad when somebody yelled at her, and it had some beautiful shots. Then I watched Normal People for the second time, and I don't know what to say about this series because it's so freaking brilliant. I will talk about this series in an upcoming video. At the outset, it seems to be a cliched high school story where the popular guy falls for the nerdy girl, but it's much more than that. It made me feel things which I never knew I was capable of feeling. If you have not watched this, please stop everything and watch it right now. Then I watched Mank. I already made a video about this. It was a okay movie, but forgettable. I also watched a documentary, My Octopus Teacher. It's a beautiful story about a man who began freediving every day for 1 year in a kelp forest in South Africa. He develops a close relationship with an octopus. He follows her around, observing her daily life. After watching, I had a strong urge to just move to South Africa and dive in those waters. Then I watched The Virgin Suicides, directed by Sofia Coppola. It follows the lives of 5 adolescent sisters who are confined in their homes by their strict parents. I love the way the story is told. It is told through the perspective of the boys who live in the neighborhood and are observing the family. It was an interesting watch. I also tried watching Queen's Gambit. I saw maybe 3 or 4 episodes. I love the way how they have shown people play and think about chess. It was very fresh in that way. But apart from that, I did not find anything which was able to hold my attention for a long time. I then continued watching Chef's Table. I love this show. Each episode focuses on one chef. It tells their story, their struggles, and how did they find their love for food and cooking. I was watching volume 4, which is dedicated to pastry chefs. A friendly tip, don't watch it on an empty stomach. I then watched The Grand Tour. I think Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond and James May are the best hosts I have ever seen. I have never seen a show hosted so well. They talk about cars, they joke around and have amazing adventures. They have such great chemistry between them because they have been doing this for the past 16 years. It's funnier than most of the sitcoms and they have the best analogies. I don't even love cars so much, but it is an absolute delight to watch this. So these were some of the series and movies I watched this December. Thank you for watching and see you all in the next one.